Wendy Alexander with the My WHIM Life show, where we use wisdom, humor, inspiration, and motivation to help you go after your one unique life. So today we've got Miss Rhea Allen. She owns Peppershock Media. She is a true entrepreneur and has been killing it for years. So I'm super excited to chat with her. Tell me a little bit about who Rhea is.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. So a little bit about me. I am a mother of 2 teenage boys. Lord, pray for me.
Yes. I have been there.
Yeah, and a wife to my husband and business partner. We started in 2003. Just him and I kind of moonlighting off to the side, and then it kind of continued to grow, and we added people to Peppershock along the way, and have grown. And I have about 10 of us now that work at Peppershock and do lots of different things for our clients. And we also created the Marketing Expedition community that's powered by Peppershock as well, and we really strive to help businesses build their brand and their bottom line.
Right. So what kind of, obviously you've been doing this for quite a few years and things evolve and change. What did it look like when you started back in 2003?
Well, if you'll remember, that was pre-social media, right? Facebook didn't start till 2007, so we used a lot of the traditional methods, and then of course new media came along and continued to evolve and be early adopters of the various different platforms that came out. And so we were video production, and then we added graphic design, and of course I have a master's in marketing and entrepreneurship. So literally marrying the strategy and planning together with the creative production services. So helping companies be an augment of their marketing departments and utilizing our talent to help augment theirs.
Yeah. When it was just you and your husband, is there one that's more creative and one that's more business minded? How did that pairing?
Well, I will tell you, I am more of the risk taker.
Yeah.
I'm more of the extrovert, and he does everything to make me look good. So there you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He's definitely got the technical creativity side about him. And then I, love people. So I love to be around networking. When you give me the opportunity to say, do you want to do this over Zoom or do you want to come in person? I'm like, I want to come. I want to be.
Right.
So definitely have been really a kind of yin and yang team for quite a while. And, opposites attract. So it's worked out pretty well to have him as my business partner and him doing the operations and working with clients and staff, and then I on the kind of the visionary side. So there's definitely some complementary areas for both of us.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's creativity definitely on both sides, just kind of in a different direction.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Storytelling and all the different things that we do. There's definitely been good kind of balance between both of what we're capable of.
Yeah. When you talk about balance, how is that with home life versus work life? You're literally submerged in everything together.
Yeah, and now my 15-year-old son also works with us at Peppershock too. So it's more about integration, I think. We once upon a time had the business where we lived, and until the kids came along, we kicked ourselves out of it and then just created the place as our business. And it's definitely all hands on deck. The kids have helped lug gear around and be a part of our business just as much as not. So it's definitely an integrated lifestyle, not like balancing, but more of like sure. Everything becomes balancing it out, but yet it's also given us the freedom to take my youngest to swim team, or the oldest to football practice, or now he's getting his driver's license. So now it's balancing between who's going to be driving him where with him driving. So
right. Just gotta get the practice hours in.
Exactly.
I remember those days.
Yep, exactly. So I think it's just been working through integration. And I also now teach at Boise State as an adjunct, and I'm teaching marketing 401, so an upper division class there. So it's been able for us to, that's why you want to become an entrepreneur, so you can set your own schedule. And that part has definitely been, an ongoing thing. And, my husband, he cooks and cleans, which I'm very grateful for. So it's been, very much a partnership along the way.
Yeah. Do you guys still make time for like date night and all that good stuff?
We do, and yesterday was his birthday, so we went out, had dinner, and had fun there, and we try to take some time away when we can, and day trips, or we went to Sun Valley together and left the kids at home. So we try to still have time for that. And when the kids were little, my grandma would always take them once a week so that we could have date night.
Yeah, I think it's really super important, and something that a lot of couples, if they get into business with together, like they don't make those things a priority, and then they get lost in the weeds, and then it becomes that turmoil. So it's always fascinating to hear from people who have made it work for literally almost 20 years. And how that their relationship has continued to work and their business continues to grow and all the things.
Oh yeah, I mean it is definitely yin and yang, and I won't lie. I mean, there's times where it's like, okay, can we just not talk about business right now, please? Can we just focus on something else, or talk about something else, or whatever the case might be. But on the hindsight, or flip side though, really, I mean, sometimes it does give us that ability to know what's going on, and sometimes there's days I don't hardly see him at all, right? Because he's off doing videos, and I'm off, networking or talking to people or strategizing or doing an audit session or something. And so when we come together, it's just how's your day, and we kind of share what's going on. So it works out. It does.
I love it. I love it. So obviously being an entrepreneur, especially at the level that you are at this point, what are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that keep you grounded? Insane.
I would say, right. I think, especially during the pandemic, Netflix and chill is sort of a thing that we would do. Just, I finally caught up on all the Grey's Anatomy shows.
Oh, fantastic.
Like,
I'm not even caught up yet.
And my kids, they got to experience watching all of the Friends, and I tried to explain to them that it took us 10 years to watch Friends, right? They got like 10 months, probably even 10 weeks. I don't know. They were binge watching, but I mean, that's always something that we like to do, and we love movies, and I can't wait to actually get to go to a movie theater. I love popcorn, so that, and just if there's projects or things that we want to work on or do, and the kids are very artistic and musically inclined, so there's lots of instruments around and artistic. There's a whole cupboard full of art projects and things that we can all work on and do sometimes together. And we like to build things and garden and do some things that just take our mind off of what's going on in the business, and work with the kids. Right now it's mostly been mom taxi, dad taxi with kids everywhere, but getting them to their things. But it's been there are things that we want to do. And my grandma, of course, she's a ceramic teacher and has been all my life, and probably before that too, I'm sure of it. And so painting and doing ceramics and those types of things are kind of fun to do when I get to do them. But so there's other things that we do aside from just work all the time.
Well, I think it's super, super important. And usually the entrepreneurs who are doing life successfully, they've got that balance, and they find the time to do the things that they really enjoy doing. From a mother's perspective, that time driving kids to and from, once they get out on their own, you will miss that so much. You don't even realize how much FaceTime you get with them, just during commutes to and from activities and stuff.
Well, and that's the thing now. My son, his rule is that he doesn't get his actual driver's license until he completes his Eagle Scout project for Boy Scouts, and so it's definitely lit a fire for him to want to do that, because what happens is if he gets his driver's license and he drives, he gets a job, a girlfriend, then the Eagle project kind of goes by the wayside. So that was our deal, that he could finish that up and do his Boy Scout duties, and then he can move on to the next stage in his life and getting a driver's license. But and so there's lots of time spent hiking, biking, fishing. I don't hunt not as much, but the boys do, and I'll go along for the ride. So good exercise.
Very good. Lots of hiking in there.
Yes.
People have no idea.
Oh yeah, that's always fun too, to just get out and be out in the outdoors, and camping. And we got a little camper trailer now, and so we can take it out and have some fun.
That's awesome. So in your business, like what are some of the things that you do that keep you driven and motivated to continue to research and try new things? Like, what does that look like for you?
I think one of the things that I really enjoy is teaching other people and seeing things that they can do because of the knowledge and expertise that I've learned along the way. I can share with them and they can learn from me. So where the marketing expeditions come in, where we do a lot of webinars and podcasts and things that can give other people ideas and inspiration and tools that they can do. It's really been fuel for me because I love to speak and I love to get on a stage and share what I know and serve others. And when they have moments of coming back to me and said, "Oh, I tried this thing that you told me about, and I told you did what whatever it is that I've said," and they come back to me and share something that I've been able to teach them and help them to continue to evolve their marketing efforts and grow their company and scale. I love that. I love being able to help others when they are starting out or when they're, maybe they're ready to go to the next level. Mm-hmm. And when I can give those efforts towards that, to what it is that they're wanting to accomplish, and help them get there because of what I've learned, I love that. So some of the things that fuel me really is being able to share that. And I love that we're getting back into being able to go to events and speak and share and do. So that, and then, teaching has also given me some joy in being able to share what I know with the younger minds that are coming through. I mean, not all of them are younger. Of course, there's some non-traditional students, but it's been great to be able to guide them and help give them career advice and give them some, hey, if I can do this, you can do this too. I'm a 5th generation Idahoan on one side of my family. I was the first to graduate and get a degree, and not only that, a master's degree. So I like to share with the young people who maybe feel like they don't know the direction they want to go, or they haven't had that college experience with family members before.
Sure.
So I've loved to be able to give them that experience and give them some guidance, whether they take it or not, but
yeah,
that's been helpful for sure.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite topics, just because I just find it fascinating what people do, is routines, morning routines, evening routines. Do you have things that you do like, this is what I do every single day? Or do you kind of like, this is, I wake up and do whatever I feel like that day and then get started?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a habit that's formed is I'll get on social media, check my messages, because now there's like 22 different places that I can get messages. I counted them all up and I'm like, okay, people can direct message me here, here, and here, and, texting and all of those things. So I like to kind of get some of that out of the way, see if there's anything that I need to respond to or do. And that's usually kind of my morning. And then, the kids, getting them if they were in school or, any of those things, get that out the door. And of course, have my coffee. I love my coffee and almond milk.
Yes.
And cinnamon. I like that too. So those are some things I do. And then I think, spending time with the kids and trying to keep at least, some time at home in the evenings when I can do board games or some fun things with them, card games or whatever. I'd like to spend at least once or twice a week doing something like that. I think there was a long time ago I read something about if your family sits down for dinner and you eat together as a family, the chances are that they are more likely to be well adapted and then go on to school, and like if you engage your kids and be a part of it, then they're more likely to succeed in other things too. So we like to have dinner together as much as we can and actually sit at the table as much as we, there's always something going on sometimes, like networking wise, but we definitely try to make that a routine. And I also will do some crock pot meals ahead of time to prepare and plan out the meals for the week, so that way it's organized chaos, so that doesn't have to be so hard to do later on. I usually do the shopping and preparing, and then Drew will cook, so that's a nice little trade-off.
That works great.
Works great.
I'm the one who works out in the yard at our house because poor
Yeah.
Shane, he just has the worst allergies that they're on the
Yeah.
planet. So I do all that, and then he cooks and cleans,
Oh, I love that.
does the
Yeah.
laundry
Yeah.
or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So we have the similar
Yep.
different trade-offs.
Well, we've traded off with the boys. So on even days, it's one boy is responsible for dishes, dogs, and sweeping or something like that, and then the other day, the opposite day, the other boy is in charge of laundry and vacuuming.
Oh.
So if it's an odd day, and if it's your day, it's your dog day, that's how we call it, then you get to sit in the front seat if you're, so then we try to keep it so that they can, it's my day, or it's your day, or whatever, so that way we can at least know that something's getting done every day.
Yeah, and then there's no arguing. You're like, look, it's odd or even. Like,
right.
You know what's on the schedule for today.
It can backfire though, because sometimes if you ask one kid to do something, well, it's not my day. Let's do it anyway.
Yes, please, help me out right now before I lose my mind.
But that's gonna change now, sitting in the front seat now that Emerson's driving. So we'll have to see how that'll play out. But
we'll have some new rules, adapting.
Exactly. Yeah. So we try to, kind of make it even as much as we can. Although where it also gets a little hung up is on even and odd days. So if there's 31 days in a month, and then the next day is the first,
then there's two
odd
days
in
a
row. So they caught on to that pretty quick. So those days that there's 2 odd days in a row, we one of the parents will take on whatever it's supposed to do. So then it's fair and life goes on, but
right. No one dies. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. And now we're just trying to get them to be in the habit of, cooking and cleaning up after themselves. That's always a fun thing to make sure that they can continue to do, but they do a pretty good job.
Yeah. And it really makes it worth it once they are out on their own. I have had my kids be like, thank you so much for teaching us this stuff, because I have friends that are pigs and they don't take care of themselves, and then they don't understand at all.
Yeah, it's beyond me how some kids get through and they don't have any idea how to run a dishwasher or a laundry machine, or washer and dryer or anything like that. So it's good for them to learn, and they're good Boy Scouts, so they have to do things. When they go on campouts, it's all boy led and or girls now if they're in a girl troop, but they have to cook and clean and set up tents and do all of the things all themselves, where the adult leaders are there to just supervise, make sure they're getting what they were doing. But we went on a Mother's Day camp out, and I was the mom there, and the boys treated me like a queen. They took care of everything, which was super nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids that got my mom was a stay-at-home mom. That's just how we were raised. She did everything. I hadn't buttered a piece of bread myself. I hadn't cut my own meat. The only time we did dishes was as punishment. We were never shown any of those things because mom took care of everything. So when my kids were growing up, I was like, no way.
You're doing all the things.
This was so hard on me.
Yeah.
Growing up and not having any idea what it took just to be a human being contributing normally to my own society.
Adulting.
Exactly.
So it's like you tell my 15-year-old, you're gonna have to be responsible for these things. You gotta put in the calendar what you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to be there and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, it's definitely different now than it was then, and the pandemic too, like it's changed how things are done now, and how much screen time and all that kind of good stuff that's how they could socialize though. So it's like, okay, you don't want to take it away, but you also don't want to give them too much to where that's all they're reliant on too.
Though it'll be interesting to see how people revert some of those rules and change it, back to some of it, or just adjust in a new way. What that really looks like. It'll be super interesting.
For sure.
So speaking of adjusting, what do you see moving forward for your business? What's the next things for you?
Well, we're going to continue to build and grow our online community, and that's been going well, and continuing to have speaking engagements, and I get to speak at an international conference. Unfortunately this year they did have to switch it because international travel was still not happening, but hopefully next year I'll get to go speak in Ireland. We'll see. Fingers crossed if all goes well. So continuing to build those things, just, presenting the knowledge and expertise. I'm a content expert speaker, really, and just share a lot of those things. And then building that and doing a lot of, instead of done for you programs, it's done with you, and helping people, guide them and kind of help them grow and be a collaborative partner, not necessarily just taking on all of their marketing for them, but with them, and sharing some tools and tactics and some classes that we're putting on to help people go from having no marketing plan or strategy or budget or timeline to really understanding what their messaging needs to be, all of the things that you would normally do when you have the time to do it, and that's your only focus, but we're going to help them, guide them through that process. So we're building some done with you programs that people can take and go through that process with us, and we'll share our knowledge and be able to help them in ways that maybe they wouldn't be able to do on their own without some guidance. So that's exciting because we are continuing to build that up, and as people continue to sign up and be a part of it, it's helping them, and there's definitely some good success stories that are coming from it. So.
And I love the idea of the done with you rather than done for you, because you're teaching them how to help themselves moving forward. And the more they know about how marketing works, the more ideas they'll be able to go, oh, if I have this new product, now I see how I can use this moving forward, and it becomes a more collaborative environment.
And how to track everything. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is people have so much access to data that they're not utilizing to their fullest advantage. And so looking at their tech stack, looking at how they can already implement the tools they may already subscribe to or have, and then putting it all together to then be able to understand what I call kept promise indicators, KPIs, key performance indicators, but kept promise indicators to say what's working, what's not. And I would say, measure what you treasure, dump what you don't, automate what you hate, and then continue to build and grow off of that. So,
I love it. So where can everyone find you if they want to check out what you have to offer?
So all the socials, peppershock.com, also the marketingexpedition.com is the community that we're growing, TMEC, the Marketing Expedition community. And then I know we had to add the in there because somebody else already had the URL we wanted. So the marketingexpedition.com. Also, on LinkedIn, pretty much all the places that you would normally think. I'm even on TikTok, which is a whole nother buddy. So there's that. And then really the biggest thing that I think people can get some value from is listening to the podcast that we do as well, the Marketing Expedition podcast. It's free. It comes out every Thursday, and just have interviewed some amazing people all across the globe, honestly, and some industry experts, some other entrepreneurs and successful people that you can learn from and get ideas from. So the Marketing Expedition podcast is something that is another podcast that I, would share as well. So listen to Wendy's and then listen to the Marketing Expedition podcast.
We come out on Wednesdays. You come out on Thursdays. It'll work just great.
Yeah, perfect. See, and I'll have you on the show as well. We'll cross promote and pod swap or swapcast or whatever you call it.
Right. I love it. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me. It has been a blast, and I'm sure I will get to hear a lot more of what you've got going on soon.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Wendy.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.